Hey everybody, welcome. I don't know how many people are in the room. Is there any way to see that? I don't think. Oh, maybe there is. I don't know. How is everyone doing today? How you doing, Chuck?
I am doing great. I'll tell you, it feels like a real Wednesday today, though. I don't know how many people out there agree with me, but it's a real Wednesday.
All right.
It has
So,
been a Wednesday.
yes. And hi Hannah and Amy. We'll get started as soon as maybe Willis can let us know when we got people in the room. This is a
Yeah.
different way for us to record this today. We are in a webinar type version, so we can't see everyone in the screen this time, but welcome everyone, and we're excited that you're here. While you guys are coming in, make sure that you put any questions you have for our guests in the Q&A section. Okay, that's what you want to do. So we'll be able to see that. The chat is disabled, but you can put any questions in the Q&A. So awesome. So let's see. Hannah and Amy are both in Colorado, in different areas of Colorado. How's the weather out there, you guys?
Um, it's actually not too bad today. It was very windy yesterday though, but it's not too bad today.
Any snow?
The mountains around me got about 7 inches last night, which is great, but there was no snow in town, which is also great.
Wow. And Amy, you're in Denver area,
Yeah.
right? So you can
So
see all.
Hannah, we're about what, like an hour and a half apart, mainly just because like 285 is a one-lane road.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, I actually love to go down to where Hannah is and spend long weekends down there. It's a fantastic little area. But she's about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on traffic. If you get behind a camper, you're done for. Um, because it's really, really, really hilly and they don't go up the hills very fast. So weather here is pretty good. It's the least nice day we're having this week. It was in the 60s and 70s earlier and nice and sunny, and today's like 45, but not too
Oh,
bad for March.
brr. And Chuck, you are in Boston. Is it cold or is it nice
It's
there?
actually warming up. It was about 60 or 70 yesterday, and I just left the house for about 15 minutes today, and it is probably 60-ish, which for us is good because yesterday it was bitter cold.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, so it's been nice and warm. It's supposed to get into the 90s next week. I
Oh,
can't even.
mercy.
I know, I know. All right, well, let's get started. We got people in the call, so welcome everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Member Success Series. We do this every single Wednesday at noon Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern, and with my awesome co-host Chuck Casto. So we'll do some quick fun introductions. So here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna say who we are and a quick. We have a special guest today because these two amazing women actually they have businesses on Alignable. They were even, I think you had a businesses on Alignable before you even started at Alignable, right? Just like me, me too.
Right.
And so now we're all on the Alignable team. And so we're going to give you some insider secrets and some things to do on Alignable to grow your business. And we have Amy here, who's on our member success team, that's probably going to share some things that you don't want to do on Alignable. She gets to see a lot of those things. So we're also going to say a fun fact about ourselves that don't have anything to do with our businesses or our jobs. So my name is Sue Brooke. I've been on Alignable as a member for over 10 years. And my fun fact, a lot of people probably already know, I've traveled in the last 4.5 years in 46 of the 50 states and a little bit of Canada, and met our members all across the country. I think everybody knows about that fun fact. And I've owned 7 Volkswagen New Beetles, and that's a whole other story. One of them saved my life. So there's mine. Chuck, my co-host today, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, for anyone who doesn't know this already, I'm known as the contest king. I'm also the head of PR and content, and I'm the newsletter guy. I basically do anything I can get my hands on. And that's been the way I've been doing this for the past 6 years. And I come from an entrepreneurial background too. My dad just retired at 80 from doing his own business that ran from 55 to 80. And now he's volunteering, driving around doing Meals on Wheels for people who are much younger than he is. So, we do, knock on wood, we have a little longevity on our side. But my big claim to fame, and people have heard some of this before, is that through all the genealogy research I've been doing since 1976, okay, I have traced all the way back to Jesus. So I'm related to Jesus, and I'm related to everybody else along the way. Who Old King Cole, who was merry old soul, he's in there. Couple of kings and queens of Scotland, and Miley Cyrus.
Oh, that's awesome. We'll have to get Chuck a crown, you guys. We'll have to get him a crown for the next time we get together. Hannah, tell us do an introduction and a fun fact for us today.
Oh man, I don't know if I have anything near as interesting as you two. This is a little high pressure. Well, my name is Hannah. I run the programs team here at Alignable. So if you're part of any of our groups or attending an event like this one, you have my team to thank for those, not me, specifically the team. Because our team is really passionate about putting together fantastic events and opportunities for business owners to come together either for networking, for education, to learn how to just be a little bit more successful in that what can sometimes feel like a really lonely business world. Some interesting stuff or like fact about me. I have a background in entrepreneurship. So as Sue kind of already said, before I started here at Alignable, I had a business on Alignable, still do. My husband does as well. And I care deeply about the small business community, which is a big part of why I chose to work here. Fun fact for me. So, like Sue, I've also done on the road living and traveling, not out of an RV, but out of a converted camper van. We sold the first van that we built, and we just this last weekend finalized a deal that we've been working on for months. And I now have well, it's not brand new, but it's brand new to me, Shorty school bus sitting in my driveway ready to be turned
No
into the
way.
next thing.
Oh my God, that's
Oh
so
my
exciting.
God, you're gonna be like Shirley Jones on the Partridge Family. Fantastic.
They're too young to know who that is, Chuck.
I'll send him a video from
Okay,
Brooke.
sounds good. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my God, Hannah, I can't wait to talk to you about that. Amy, go ahead.
So my name is Amy. I work on the member success team, as Sue mentioned earlier in the call, and my team is made up of a couple of different pieces. So if you have support questions, that's us. Use anything for the help center, use the support bot. If you report a member or you run into bugs, anything like that, anything that has to do with you're having an issue or you have a question that comes through me and my team. And we collaborate a lot with the programs team, with Hannah and her group, Brittany and all of those in the programs. So we're kind of a little bit of everything all over the place. So you've probably, if you've interacted with a human here on Alignable, it has probably been somebody out of my team. I married into the entrepreneurial family. In a previous life, I worked in franchising at a world headquarters for a print franchise and shipping franchise. So I was really aware of the small business industry before I came here, married into an entrepreneurial spirit of a husband, and we are on our second business together. Here in Denver. It's international, so we travel all over the place for marketing and trade shows. And fun fact about me is I am learning how to speak Hungarian. I did all of my genealogy, just like Chuck. I'm found out I am technically Slovakian, but when my great grandparents left, it was a part of the Hungarian Empire. So here we are, learning Hungarian.
Oh,
That's
fantastic.
amazing. Wow,
That's
very cool.
fantastic. Amy, my Slavic group they left Hungary too to go
Mhm.
to Yugoslavia. So, oh boy, here we go. Anyway, we better talk about other things, but that's fun.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, let's get started. I'll start with the first question. So you guys have had business or have businesses on Alignable. Maybe we can take turns. You can say what the business is and what is maybe how you heard about Alignable, and maybe a success story, if anything you have from your business that you have on Alignable. So who wants to go first? Hannah, you were shaking your head. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, sure. So I've actually had a couple on Alignable, but I will talk about the most current and relevant two. So the one of the biggest businesses that we've had on Alignable in terms of, great success stories was our guttering business. We had a guttering company, cleaning and installation services. We have since parted ways with that company and are onto other things. But Alignable was an incredible platform for that company, just because it made it really possible for us to reach out and network to our ideal referral partners within that kind of contractor and home services world. Networking and referral networks is really critical, because if you're a gutter person and you've got your great roofers in your network, but also real estate agents, or people that might recognize, like, hey, this house has a problem with their gutters, we've got somebody to refer you to. So much business in that industry and in that world comes out of referrals. So it
Wow.
was one of our best platforms in that regards to kind of building up that network. We also took on starting and running a local Alignable Alliance networking group. So we were putting on in-person networking events and bringing all the businesses in our community together to network in person monthly. And so in terms of a success story for us, just getting that extra level of like involvement and showing leadership in the community led to a lot of, people knowing who we were and then also referring us to who they felt we needed to be referred to.
Absolutely. And yeah, I just realized that both of you have been or are or have been an Alignable Alliance ambassador. So, and Hannah runs that program. So I totally am open to that. I used to have my own events. Actually, fun fact, before I started and there wasn't really anything on Alignable, no groups, no nothing. Alignable had this thing pop up because I had my business on Alignable, and it said, "Do you want to be a local leader on Alignable? You have to host 3 events, local events, and teach people how to use it." And I'm like, me. And so and that's what when I came on Alignable, had the idea of we have to have an ambassador program. So Hannah, amazing. Amy is actually an ambassador too. So tell us about your business and maybe some other
Yes.
your success stories.
So I actually heard about Alignable through somebody who used to work here. I had known him for years, in my previous job, and he came over, absolutely loved the people, absolutely loved the company, told me all about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to work here. And thankfully there was a position open. So that's how I heard about Alignable. And we were kind of sunsetting our wine import and distribution business because the pandemic, as we know, hurt so many different businesses. So I didn't have a business really at the time to promote or network. But I used it a little bit for that, with the wine business as we were kind of closing it out. And then we created a new business about a year and a half-ish ago. And since then, I have been on Alignable networking, um, talking to people. I've talked to a lot of people locally, but I've also talked to a lot of people across the United States and just like, hey, how do you do this? Where do you get these supplies? Where do you, if you're starting to do trade shows and you've never been in those kind of trade shows, like, where do you buy all of the random things to display your products? So learning and talking to people about that, has been really, really helpful for us. And then also as Hanna, I became a ambassador for the city of Denver and its surrounding areas. And we do our events, at least once a month. And that has introduced me to so many people, who have introduced me to so many people. And it's just kind of this cascade effect of getting our name out there. It has really helped, in the small business world of just like, oh, 5280 watch company. Oh, yeah. I've heard of them. I know who they are. So it's really helped awareness. Even if they don't know exactly who we are, they have heard of our name, which is huge.
Very cool. There's a question that came in. What is the ambassador program? Hannah, I'll let you answer that for them.
Yeah, that's for you.
Yeah, I can probably speak to what the program is. So our ambassador program, or just I should talk about programs in general, ambassadors and group leaders. So Alignable has opportunities for individuals who want to be a leader and step up to host events, either virtually or in person. So if you want to do kind of like a virtual group and have networking events online that people from the Alignable community can join, that would be a group leader type of involvement. And so you can get involved in the group leader program. The ambassador program takes it another step. So our ambassadors are business owners that absolutely love Alignable. They really care about the mission of, giving first, the giver's gain kind of mentality. You have to know, like, and trust your network. We're not here just to elevator pitch and hand out business cards. We're here to actually help people talk and have great conversations that allow them to build referral networks within their local environment. So the ambassadors, uh, through Alignable, put on in-person networking events. They coordinate the locations. They figure out, when the events are going to be. They work, oftentimes they work to get kind of a little team going that helps to do this in the community. And then Alignable helps promote the events. So the ambassadors have an online group for that area. So for example, Amy's area in Denver encompasses the city of Denver, but it actually goes all the way up to Boulder and almost even all the way down to Castle Rock, out to Golden, and then all the way over to DIA, the Denver International Airport. So if you're familiar with Denver at all, it's a huge square area. But Amy puts together these networking events. Alignable helps promote them. The ambassadors also do some of their own promotion and communication with the group. And you get this great opportunity to be in front of all of these individuals and businesses in your area and facilitating a space for them to network smarter with each other. So that is really what the ambassador program is about. And then also in between events, so with the virtual space and kind of where the tools of Alignable makes this so powerful, unlike your typical networking event where you just show up, you hand out some business cards, you collect some business cards, you go home, and maybe you do something with those business cards. Typically not. They often end up in a pile somewhere. But with Alignable, after the event, all of the people that were there, including the ambassadors, can see the attendee list and connect with those attendees and carry the conversation on, get to know them better, arrange one-on-one meetings, also get to see, if I connected to Amy at an event, I would then be able to see, like, oh, these are the people Amy knows. She has 15 people in her network that are my ideal referral partners. I really want to facilitate a relationship with Amy, and then down the road ask her for introductions to those individuals. So it's a really great program, and the ambassadors that lead it are very just community focused, wonderful individuals who do this, a little bit for their business because it does give them a lot of visibility, but really do it because they want to be seen as community providers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Good
So
question.
you can, I think Amy's or Willis will put in the chat the link to go apply if you, or to see if there's any in your neighborhood. So Chuck,
I've
you
got
have
the
a
link right here. I'm going to drop it in.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was looking forward to. Good. Okay,
Yeah, no,
excellent.
no, Willis has all the links, so don't worry. Okay, Chuck,
Okay.
what's your question? Do you have one for Amy here?
Oh my God, I've got so many questions for these two. First of all, these are two of my favorite people on Alignable. I want to say that behind the scenes, fantastic, always helping with all of the stuff that we're always doing. And yeah, also raising their hands. These are the folks who are like, oh God, no one's doing that. We're gonna go do it. So very much appreciate these two. Okay. Amy, I really want to hear what that new business is that you and your husband have been working on for the last year and a half, because all I know is that it does involve a lot of great travel to Slavic countries. So tell me a little bit more.
Well, the travel to Slavic countries was a watch show in Prague, and then we just decided
Okay.
to stay over there and do all the travel we wanted to do because we were already there. So that was fun. Most of that was just for fun. But the company is 5280 Watch Company, so we actually make wrist watches. They are hand engraved on an antique rose engine lathe, which is, if you look it up, essentially the techniques we're using to make the dials is the same thing Carl Fabergé used to make his Fabergé eggs for the Tsars of Russia. So
Wow.
it's hand engraved. We use a pure silver dial, super intricate patterns. And then we put enameled glass, color enamel glass over top of it. So it's this really just deep, beautiful patterns that really kind of catch the sunlight. And then we use ostrich leather straps because those are coming out of Texas. We tried to stay as local as we could. The dials are made in Boulder, Colorado, but our movements are out of Switzerland for now. We're working on with some people to make in-house movements for us that are custom just to us. But we're trying to keep as much local and with small businesses as we possibly can. Like all of our marketing collateral comes from somebody I met in that franchising industry a long time ago, and became really good friends with. So we support them with all of our tablecloths and drop cloths and merchandise and all of that stuff. So yeah, it came out of my husband as a watch collector and couldn't find what he wanted for a decent price or under a 5-year wait list. So he's crazy enough to say, fine, I'll make my own. And here we are.
Amazing.
That's
That's a great entrepreneurial story. Let me ask you, Hannah, what are a couple of the secrets? Because you're the newest one here, actually, right? What are a couple of the secrets that nobody knows that they need to use on Alignable to succeed?
Okay, thanks for including the on Alignable. I was like, in life, man, I don't know if I
Yes.
can do that.
That's a loaded
Unalignable.
one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we gotta get some good inside scoops here.
Yeah, no, on Alignable, just some secrets. So I think the first one for me that really stood out is we all have heard it 100 times. Like you have to really dial in your profile, make sure your profile is really well built, specifically with how you have your tags in terms of who your referral partners are and ideal customers. But from there, it's not just saying like, okay, now I've set that up. I love my favorite page on Alignable actually is going to the my network tab and then kind of seeing, I think it's just let me confirm my network. Yeah, discover. So I go to my network tab and then I sub tab the discover. And from here, I love this tab or this page because Alignable literally shows me like, here are the people that best match those tags you've provided us that describe either your ideal customer or referral partner. It's like there's nowhere else where I can just get such a refined list of other business owners for me to network with. And it takes networking for me from being like this quantity game to this quality game. And I can review them and say, these are the people that potentially could be really good for my business to if I go out and start making a relationship with them. So that's for me like my favorite top tip and secret. The other one is just getting involved. If I have a random few minutes, even as an Alignable employee, if I have an hour on my calendar, I'm always looking for an event that I could go to. And I do that because when I am sitting in rooms in those smart connects and get to go into the breakout rooms, I get to hear incredible stories. I get to hear from people that I'm like really excited about their business. And all of a sudden, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go check your business out and buy from you. This sounds incredible. Or I find people that I'm like, hey, our business that we're doing now, where we have a business consulting business, especially around businesses that are trying to do, or people that are trying to do acquisition or are a few years in and are struggling with their efficiencies. I talk to so many people where they're just describing these problems they have, and I can just in the moment offer them value and say like, oh, well, have you thought about trying this? Or there's this tool out there you maybe have never heard of. So those are my tool. Like check out the suggested connections because your profile is well built, and then go to an event.
100%. How about you, Amy?
Ugh. Um, Trying to think of something that's not what Hannah just said. Um,
Mine were so good.
because they're true. You do want to get involved. The the biggest tip about Alignable too is it is a quality over quantity. Just like Hannah said, this is not social media. So you want to make sure that you're only sending using your connection requests to people that you actually truly want to have a relationship with. Look at their profile. if their profile's not filled out, is this someone you really think is going to be a great fit for you? They didn't even fill out their profile. Only join the groups that you have that you have the capacity to stay involved in. It doesn't do you any good to be in a group and just sit there and do nothing and watch. And it's great if you're trying to learn some things in some maybe like a QuickBooks type group, but why aren't you asking questions? If you're a subject matter expert, why aren't you chiming in? So that's really the big thing, is only take on as much as you have the capacity to keep up with. Because if you can't keep up with it and you get overwhelmed, it's not going to do you any good.
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
I want to stick with Amy for a second because I'm excited to ask this question. I've been like, I don't know if I want to wait or I want to ask it right now. So
Don't
everyone,
wait.
I know Amy is in charge of the member success and she gets to see everything everybody does, and she's the one that gets to see who the spammers are. She takes care of all that kind of stuff. So I thought a really fun question for these two, and we're going to start with Amy just because she's right in the middle of it. What should you not do on Alignable? Like, what are things you do not want to do that you've seen people do that are making a huge mistake? I
Okay.
could probably talk all day on that, I'm sure, but
I can't, I can talk for a long time, so I will keep it short. So the biggest thing when you message someone, do not message them your sales pitch. You will not get a response. You will probably get blocked. No one's going to do business with you. Nobody wants that. That's like somebody walking up to your house and slapping a flyer on your door. How often do you use those? You probably don't. You crumble them up and throw them away. So don't do that.
I got 2 of them yesterday. Oh my God.
Yes. So like that's problem number one. Do not slap your sales pitch in a like, hey, how are you today? These are all my product offerings. Please don't do that. It does not do well.
Doesn't help. Yeah.
No, it hurts actually. It'll
Yeah.
hurt you a lot. Another thing that we see people do is they'll come in and they'll only fill out their profile so far as they needed to get onto the platform. And then they wonder why, like, they don't have any suggestions. Then they don't have any people talking to them and nobody's replying to them. But they haven't set up those tags like Hannah mentioned. So we don't know who they want to meet. We barely know their name. We barely know the company they're with. We don't know where they are. People don't know. So you don't look like a real person, and you don't look like you want to be there because you haven't even you haven't taken the 4 minutes to share who you are and what you're trying to do, how you can help someone, how you need help, whatever it is. So that's a big one. The profile has to be, it doesn't have to be a novel and it doesn't have to be perfect, but it at least has to be attempted.
Love
And
it.
Sue does a great teaching on this, by the way, if you haven't been to it. And then I think another one is, this is the one that we actually hear a lot, and I get a lot of questions about this, is thinking that anybody, I'm gonna throw out real estate agents because I don't know of any other thing right off the top of my head, but I had to pick an industry. So say you're a real estate agent and we suggest to you that you might want to connect with another real estate agent. We are not These are not your competition. Maybe they are out in the real world, but on Alignable, these are your peers. These are people who are doing the same thing as you. They may have way more experience than you. They might have like tried and true tips that have gotten them through this like lump you're going through right now. These are also people who are using the same tools that you can have questions about. Maybe they're too busy right now and they can't take on work and they have to offshoot some work to people. Maybe they're licensed in a different area. Maybe they're experts in a different area. So you don't think of these people as your direct competition. These are people that know what you're going through. They are a great sounding board. They're somebody who might need advice, or they might be able to give you great advice. How many times we hear like, I never thought that I would be getting business from somebody in my industry. People get too busy that they can't take care of their customers. And instead of getting a bad reputation, they'd rather send them to somebody they know will do well. So don't think of those people as your competitors. Think of them as people who can help you. I
You,
think those are those are three. There's more, but those are probably my top three.
Do you have any, Hannah, that you want to add to this?
Um, make sure you have a picture of yourself on your profile. People network with people, not with logos or initials. And your profile picture goes a long way. So if it's blurry and it's a profile picture of you from, think of it like your dating app profile. Like if you don't have a great picture of you on there that like makes you look approachable and exciting and interesting, it's also kind of another deterrent if you send connection requests and people are just like, oh well, I don't know what this person looks like. So people network with people, not with logos or initials. That's one of my biggest things. Um, and then I think one of my other ones that I kind of see people not do that they should do is not offering their knowledge or responses or answers to discussions in groups. So like if you see a group or like something come up in your home feed and it's a conversation and there's something you could add to it, either like, yeah, I agree, or oh, I've been wondering this too, or like, hey, actually, I have a little bit of knowledge about this. It goes so far, and when you offer that value into the world, value comes back to you. And so, if somebody's asking a question of like, oh my gosh, you guys, like taxes this year, I'm so stressed out. This is the first time I'm filing taxes as a business owner. What do I do? And you're a tax accountant, don't just respond with like, hey, I'm a tax accountant, I'll do your taxes for you. Respond with like, hey, it sounds like you're having some big questions. Why don't I just see if I can connect with you, see where you're at? And who knows, maybe that turns into you have a new customer. Maybe it just turns into you helped another business owner along the way and set them up for a little bit more success than they had 20 minutes ago.
I love it. We have some questions too. I don't know if you can see them, Chuck. Do you see any questions you want on the thing?
I
I think,
saw a few and we answered a couple already. So
yeah,
this
the
is
last,
interesting. Yeah, that last one's good, huh?
yeah,
What's the most appropriate connection request wording?
yeah,
Who
because
wants that one?
Amy's like got the big smile on her face because she said what not to put in there, but what should you put in there?
So we do give you canned ones you can send. I don't particularly like those. Um, One of my pieces of advice is definitely an appropriate one is, hi, my name is Amy. Why did you want to connect to this person? Insert. I saw that you also are in the jewelry business. I look at their tags, look at their profile. Like, what made you want to start to connect with this person? I always respond to my connection requests. It's like, hey, Hannah, how did you get into your industry?
Mm.
Like,
Oh, I like
I
that one.
don't, I don't talk about, I don't want to know yet about your business. I want to know about like you. I want to network with you. So try and keep it focused a little more on the person. Even if you don't know what to talk about, people will talk about themselves forever. So ask them about them.
I have a couple fun answers to this one too
Oh,
that
good. Okay.
piggyback really well to what Amy just described. So one of my first go-to ones is I will just reach out and say like, hey, my name's so and so. I was looking at your profile. I looked up your website. Great website, by the way. And I'm really curious to know what inspired you to start this.
I
People
love
love telling their business inspo stories, so getting them to talk about themselves. Another one that I really like to do is if I've found somebody that I'm like, oh, I really want this connection, I go check out their ideal customer and ideal referral partners in their profile. And then I will reach out to the person that to reach out to them in my connection request and say, like, hey, John, I noticed that one of your ideal referral partners is real estate agents. I actually have a lot of them in my network. I would love to get to know you a little bit more to see if maybe you would be a good referral for me to pass on to them. And that automatically opens the door into somebody being like, oh, wait, you're willing to give me referrals if like I can be a good like potential referral partner, meaning you like I should take the time for you to get to know me. Um, so that's a good one too. So just yeah, I don't like the candid answers as much. And
it.
definitely no pitches.
Exactly.
But give like a reason, give a good, I'm interested in this about you for this reason, or I think like we could have some business opportunity here because we've got some, matches in terms of like I have these people in my network, turns out you have people in yours, things like that.
Ooh, I'm gonna
And that's
interrupt really quick though.
Go for it.
One thing you should not do, another do not like one-on-one calls is are absolutely fantastic. Do not lead with that.
Mm-hmm.
People don't
oh,
want to get on a call if they haven't even talked to you yet. Make sure you talk to them for a little bit. It's kind of, Hannah mentioned this earlier. It's kind of like a dating app. You wanna make sure they want to make sure you're not a bot. You're not someone we make sure that we keep the bots off, but they want to make sure that you are someone who is real and genuine and not trying to sell them. And soon as they get on a phone call with you, and now you have their phone number and now you're their email address, and now there's all kinds of spam opportunities. So they want to be very careful with that information they're giving out before they get on a call. So, but one-on-ones, absolutely highly recommend them. You should do them. Talk to the person for a little bit before you launch into those.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
a
don't ever think you're gonna like have one conversation and start getting referrals. I like to use that trick as sort of like I think there could be opportunity here, but first we have to take the time to get to know each other.
Love it.
right.
There's
And
a
then
question.
I've
Oh, go.
got one other here. I got one other.
Okay.
Since we have 4,751 contest winners that have sprung on the scene here, what do you guys, and again, I've heard this through the grapevine, but what do you guys think of different contest winners reaching out to each other because they have that commonality and because they just love networking and all of that? What do you think of that?
Fantastic. I think it's that icebreaker that you're looking for. It's like, hey, I saw that you're the contest winner for Canton, Ohio.
Right.
I used to live there, or I saw you're the contest winner for so and so. Like, what are you going to do with it? What does it mean to you? I mean, I think it's fantastic. Now you have something in common, and you can talk about that.
Yeah, great.
Love it. There is a question because you kind of touched on it, Hannah. You've already talked a lot about the My Network page and being able to help introduce, which is really Alignable 360, right? And someone is asking there's a banner, I guess, that everybody can see about Alignable 360. Do you want to, continue a little bit more with that and tell people that might not know what Alignable 360 actually is?
Yeah, sure. So Alignable 360 is, think about it in the sense of an engine and a connection tool. So we'll go back again a little bit to the dating app analogy. But Alignable has this incredible brain within all of the data that we have about the 9 million plus businesses on here. And it's 360 takes all that data and starts organizing it and saying, okay, if you're in this industry and you've set up your profile this way and you've let us know that your ideal referral partners are these people, we're going to start pulling those people and figuring out, these are your ideal referral partners. Fantastic. Now we know the matches to you. We can start telling you about them. But where 360 takes it a step further is just like word of mouth marketing for businesses, some of the best marketing you'll ever get is word of mouth for people being convinced they want to, buy or work with you. The same goes for the networking world. So if you can get a warm introduction or a referral from somebody in your network to somebody that's in their network, you're much more likely to actually have that introduction go somewhere. And so what 360 does is if you're looking at your existing contacts and connections in your network, you can see who's behind them or their network and who matches your ideal customers or referral partners within your connections network. So 360 is this really powerful thing that it is a tool, but it's a tool that works for you in the background. All you have to do is start looking through your network and saying like, okay, I really want to foster my relationship so much more with this person. And then, or I know this person very, very well. They might not know who I would like introductions to, but I can give them that information because I can see who they know that I want them to introduce me to and make those requests. So that's what
Love it.
360 really does.
Awesome. And Amy, just continue on with that. Like, how could you make Alignable 360 work best for you? I know one of the questions in the chat was that, about messaging and stuff. And we do have the Alignable networking coaches. Maybe you can speak a little bit to that as well.
Sure. So we'll do We'll first go into 360,
Uh-huh.
and we can kind of mention the coaches at the back end because there is a lot going on with those as well. So, 360, the ways that you can make it work for you is there's 360, but also if you've upgraded to have access to 360, you've also upgraded to unlock another piece that's called your connections, which is a tab that won't show up unless you're a paying member. And this tab actually, what Hannah was saying of like your messaging and everybody, this one will tell you the last time you messaged this person. So you can really keep these fostering relationships, and you can put a note in there saying like, this person knows 10 people I want to get to know. So I need to ask about these things. This is why I'm really developing the relationship. Hannah herself, she may be somebody I can do business or refer partners to, but it may be unlikely. But her network, oh my goodness, the amount of people that she can help me meet is crazy. So never ever take that for granted. It's just because somebody can't use your network does not mean, or use your service or product does not mean that they don't know a ton of people who do. And like she said, that referral of like, hey, Hannah, can you introduce me to Chuck? I read his profile. I'm really looking to meet real estate agents, and like he fits exactly who I'm looking to meet. And then Hannah goes to Chuck and says, hey, Chuck, like Amy, this is Chuck. Chuck, this is Amy. Now Chuck is more likely to trust me, and think that I'm a legitimate person, I'm a good business, because Hannah has taken the time to get to know me, and she put that on the line. So now Chuck and I have something in common to talk about. We both know Hannah, but also now there's that warm introduction. It's not like a cold call of like out of the blue, hey, do you want to buy my stuff? So now we really have that connection, and there's that other, think of it as like friends, hey, bring this person into the group.
Right.
That's that's the way you really want to work it. Don't think of people as I can't use this person's not going to benefit me. Everyone benefits you in some way.
Right.
Um, if you're a small business owner, because let's be honest, the biggest thing, most of us don't have tens or hundreds of $1,000s for marketing. It's all coming out of somebody's mouth. And these are
Mm-hmm.
all the people that are marketing for you on Alignable 360. So you want to make sure that you're taking and nurturing those relationships so they're yelling your name to everybody in their network.
I
Um,
love it.
the coaches are those are a little one. They're kind of sprinkled sporadically throughout. So there is one in your profile about building an elevator pitch that you can add into your profile. There's quite a few in 360. There's one that just automatically, if you want to request that introduction, it'll write it for you. And you can take it and reword it, but at least gives you a good starting point. So you're not sitting there looking at it going, I don't know how to ask, I'm embarrassed. It writes it for you, and you can update it and make it yours. We have a lot of conversation starters. If you're not quite sure how to start a conversation or maybe how you could work together, it'll do all of that for you. So those are great to use. If you are going to use them, adjust them, make them your own. They are different every time for every different person. Um, but everybody knows what GPT sounds like at this point. So just make it your own.
Make it your own.
100%.
It's coming from you, right? Yeah.
100%. Okay, what next question you got from Chuck?
Oh my God, these two. We could talk to them till 7 o'clock tonight,
I
Eastern.
know.
Anyway,
We could have him do, yeah.
it's so fun. No, it's so fun. I hope the audience is enjoying it. I know we are. So,
Absolutely.
Hannah, why don't you talk to us a little bit about um, a success story you know of from the ambassador program too, because you know what? There's so many people I know of who've had great success with the ambassador program, usually after they won a contest or two, and then they became an ambassador. But what
Yeah.
have you heard?
Yeah, and it doesn't take winning a contest to become an ambassador, but
Not at all.
we do have,
Not at
there
all.
is a tight correlation between winners and ambassadors, that's for sure. I think I don't have like a one specific one because has happened more than once.
Right.
But one of the things that is a bittersweet part of the ambassador program is typically after somebody's been an ambassador for, not typically, but I've had enough people come to me that after they've been an ambassador for a while, they got to know this incredible community. They put on their events. They really grew their own networks. They have had their business volume increase to the point where they've had to approach me and say, "Hey, I have so much business coming to me right now. I can't be an ambassador any longer. I am too busy." And luckily we have a system in place where we start setting them up for success early on in their ambassador journey to say, let's grow the group so that there's more than just one ambassador here. That way we expect kind of this to be the end result for ambassadors, is that they get to a point where they're like, this just like drove so much business for me, not because I'm standing in front of people and pitching myself to them, but because I see this as the opportunity to get to know this local community and really like have a platform where they get to the point they trust me. So many of them are referring their customers or their networks to me now that it's exploding how much work I have. So that's
Right.
that's like the ambassador success story that we we love, because it means it worked and your business is thriving, and that's all we could ever ask for those of us that want to support the small business community. It's also like the saddest thing in the world for the ambassador program, because those are typically the ambassadors where we're like, please don't leave. We love you so.
So that brings up a great follow-up question, which is, I know a couple years ago, I think maybe it was a year ago, we started doing more co-ambassadorships so that, again, it was easier to do while you're running your business and all of that. Would you tell people listening today or, watching this later,
Yeah.
that even if there's an ambassador in their community, they should still apply because maybe they
Yeah.
could be a co-ambassador?
Yeah, so we don't really call it co-ambassadors anymore. You're just an ambassador. There's no one ambassador that's more ambassador-y than the other one.
Great, great, great.
Um, but essentially, yeah, when we really started kind of evaluating where the in-person networking groups were at, the ones that had more than one ambassador within them, just they're so much more primed to thrive. Multiple ambassadors in a group mean that there's more opportunity for events to be offered to the group, meaning there's more engagement coming from the group, meaning the efforts it takes to grow that group, both getting people to come to events and also the online experience, can be divvied out among multiple people. So we've expanded the program to say, like, actually it is for the benefit of the ambassadors, the businesses in the group, and Alignable if we have these networking groups that have more than one or more than two leaders in them, at least two, if not more than two. So like
Great.
the success story there, I mean, you just start taking a look at, we did this just over a year ago for our Phoenix, Arizona group and our
Yep.
Atlanta group. Those two groups are exploding. I mean, Phoenix typically has like, well, in Denver too, these three cities typically will have 200 plus people registering for these events.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm
Cannot
out
do
here.
that with one person.
No, you
Doesn't
can't
work.
do it with one person. Yeah.
Wow.
And like
So
Amy said, she's meeting so many people who are introducing her to people that she like, without networking, she wouldn't be getting those conversations and just industry knowledge that's helping her out.
I love it. So I just hate that our time goes by so dang fast. So I want to go around and I also want to ask Amy a little bit more. I want to I want to make sure that I get this tip in because I of course was been a member forever before I started Alignable, and recommendations were really huge for me. That was probably that is the one thing that made me go, oh my God, Alignable is amazing, because I moved to a new community where I didn't know anyone after I met the sister on Ancestry, and I'm an introvert and I'm trying to network, and I got on Alignable, and again, there was nothing on Alignable back then, and I would meet someone, go meet them for coffee that I met on Alignable, and then a couple weeks later, I'd get a phone call from someone that said, "Hey, I saw my friend Rhonda recommended you on Alignable. Can I hire you?" And I'm not kidding. That happened over and over. Then someone else would call. I saw Rhonda recommended you on Alignable, or that number one real estate agent. And that, like, God, the phone would ring all the time for the recommendation. So I want to make sure, I mean, I don't know if either of you have anything to say about that, but I want to bring Amy back into this because because you're the member success team and you can really share some of your absolute best tips, either not to do or to do, whatever you want to choose. Let's take the last 10 minutes with both of these guys, check if it's okay to
Yeah.
really get into the absolute best tips that you don't want to forget to mention.
Um, we oh, so like my three tips, we mentioned two of them already. Like my top tips is your groups. You have to join groups that are not just your community and your industry. Those are your ones you're automatically put in. They're great, but there's so much else out there. Even if you just want to stay local and do local things, there's nothing wrong with you getting into these big groups like Alignable University, which Sue runs, and learning more about how to use it, or a QuickBooks group, or I don't know, a solopreneurs group. Even those are just, even if you want to network locally, those things will give you such great insight into other things. So you want to join groups, but you don't want to join so many groups that you can't keep up. So only join the groups that you're really interested in and you can keep up with. You're looking at the feeds, you're commenting if you have relevant comments, you're posting things if it's relevant. Every group has different rules, so be sure to read them before you post. Um, and then the other thing with that is if you notice you're not engaging in a group, leave. It's okay. Leave. Pick another one. If it's not for you, it's not for you. That's the beautiful thing about Alignable is nothing is permanent, right? You can always change those tags and who you want to be. You can always change your groups if you're not getting out of it what you want. Um, the other one was the connection request. Never send or accept a connection request without writing a message. We already talked about that one.
Oh my God.
So this is a multifold thing. One, it's way more personal. You get a better response. You're actually seem interested. But also, if the person doesn't respond, you know this is someone who might not be interested, or there might not be somebody that's going to be giving you a ton of their time. So you're not going to invest a ton of time trying to like poke the bear if they're not going to talk to you. Um, so we again don't get into business until you know who this person is. That's the big one as well. And then you want to start talking about who they want to meet, things like that. Like I said, just kind of leads back into that Alignables 360. You know you want to get to know this person because of everyone they know, or maybe just them themselves, and keep track of them through the connections tab of like when was the last time you talked to them. And my last tip is to be consistent. Log in regularly. Even if you only have 5 or 10 minutes every couple days, log in. You want to log in, respond to all your new messages. Um, Once you've responded to those, pick one or two people that you haven't talked to in a little while and send them a message just to check in with them, see how they're doing. How is business? I know you were going through, there was a bunch of construction in front of your shop. How are you doing now? Whatever it is. So check in with one or two other people you haven't talked to in a while to keep that relationship alive and keep it moving. And then again, you can find that in the connections tab. Um, you want to keep them top of mind. So you always want to be consistent. If you're not able to like be super active on Alignable, still talk to the people that you've met.
I love it.
That's my top three.
Can
I
I
love it.
add one thing to that? Show you care.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to
Show
be
you care.
interested.
Yes.
Yes.
There's like two like little things that I've gotten from some of the most amazing ambassadors on Alignable is you want to be of service, not sell your services, and you want to be interested more than interesting.
I love that thing so much. And
So,
then Hannah, I want to bring it to you, but I want you to touch on this. So, being a lot of people ask why they should become an official member of Alignable or a premium member. Now, Alignable 360 is only available for our official members. When you're on the free account, you're a guest, but you need to get on there. Is there anything you could talk about with that and why that it's so important to be on one of the plans so you have access to all of these things?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being on Alignable plan, be it, just our lowest level plan, which is kind of a great place to start if you're still filling out the waters, you don't have time to, engage with a ton of people every single month. All the way up to our premium plus plan, which comes with 75 connections a month and a huge access to features. But with 360 and being able to kind of focus on this quality over quantity mindset. For me personally, I would so much rather have 1 to 2 extremely quality connections that I know have great referrals behind them for me and build the relationships with them than try to have, 100 people that I haven't talked to in months. Um, and so with Alignable 360 and all the other tools, like you can really put in the effort to go with that quality over quantity mindset because you can explore your network and who they know and be a much smarter and intentional with the referral requests that you make. Some of the other incredible tools that are out there are the insights tool. I mean, like if you have a profile and you're curious of like, who's going to my profile? Does anybody care that I posted a new service yesterday? The insights tool is only available for paid accounts for the members on Alignable versus the guests. And so you can go to your profile insights. And I mean, those are some of the best warm leads, if you want to talk about it from a sales funnel perspective, that you could ever get. Like it will literally tell you, Hannah, Sue clicked on your service 6 times in the last 2 days. I might want to reach out to Sue and say, like, hey, Sue, are you having a problem with your gutters? Sue, I noticed
That's
that you
when you
respond.
sneak the pitch in. You're right, right?
Yeah, it also will tell you like it's also a great place where you can keep track of like as you're putting posts up on Alignable or commenting on discussions that are happening, it'll also streamline where the reactions and engagements to those things are coming for you so that you can better follow up on those things. So, I respond in one of my groups that's, the business owners for construct or for the construction world. And somebody's asking about how do I source this type of product? And I've answered, and then like 5 people follow up with me, like, hey, Hannah, can you tell me more? I can so quickly find those follow-ups and get back to those people. So those are, I mean, there's more, but for 2 very specific, like that quality and just being efficient with your time, you're a business owner, you don't have a lot of it. So efficiency is key is insights and 360 so that you can be really focused on the quality experience. Yeah.
And the people who interacted with your posts, it'll tell you if any of them are ideal referral partners or ideal customers as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You can click
Again,
and see
360 working
Yep.
for you. One thing that I've learned too from our ambassadors that a lot of people don't necessarily know about Alignable is as a business, you're doing all of this stuff from your website to your Google page to like all of these things to make you more discoverable online, right? Your SEO. When you have a really well created alignable profile, it has a huge impact on how well your SEO performs on Google searches. Your alignable profile can make you go from being like on the second, third, fourth page of Google to the top of the first page, just by like having your profile well built out and linked to your business website.
I agree. And when I traveled across this country, I was constantly on Google looking for different things in every single community. And I noticed that the people, alignable profiles would show up at the top all the time. So, okay, we have 2 minutes. So really quick, thank you guys for being here. I do want to mention one more thing about being on one of our, becoming an official member of Alignable. We have a new group that just started a few weeks ago called the Alignable Insider Community, which is so exciting. We have special events if you're a member in there. And next week, we on our next show, and I think Willis will post a link to that. Definitely want to be here because it's going to be PR focused. Okay. And in that
Sorry.
yes, I'm so excited. So we're going to be talking to some members who've actually gotten some PR on national TV because of Alignable, because of being an ambassador, because of being active on Alignable. They got really big PR and got on the news, and Chuck helped do that. And this is super exciting. In a couple of weeks, Chuck's going to actually host an event in that members only group to teach you how to get PR for your business, which oh my gosh, I'm in. I'll pay $1,000 for that if you need.
And I tell you guys more than you're ever gonna know, believe me. So just, maybe we need to make that event a little bigger already.
I
Maybe
know.
2 hours. I don't know.
I know, and one of our other team members, Don Martelli, who's pretty new to the Alignable team, was actually a PR guy too. So you're going to learn all kinds of PR next week. It's 1 o'clock, and hopefully you got some links in there. I will be sending you some links as well. You guys, thank you so much for being here.
So
That was
good.
powerful, wasn't it, Chuck?
So good.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Have a wonderful day. Appreciate you
Thanks,
all.
everyone.
Thanks for being here.